Hello, everybody. Welcome to Hangout with, well, actually, it's a Jubilee review, isn't it, guys? We're reacting to
Yeah.
Alpha Male versus Beta Male Jubilee video that was released quite a while ago. Today, we have a couple of our lovely panelists that used to come on my podcast, as well as someone new over here, and some other two new guest people as well. And I'm assuming you guys, well, that one's the son, and then we have the lovely couple in the back, right?
Yep. That would
Okay.
be my lovely, lovely husband and or wife, whatever she wants to be. And this is my kiddo.
Okay. All right. And
Hello.
then you want to introduce yourself a little bit, maybe not throw out your name because it's an anonymous, but I know you're my friend. Do you want to say anything to the people watching?
Just the gamer name.
Yes. Do you want to hit them with the gamer name?
Yes. Gamer
Hi,
name, just Crystal.
Mm-hmm. Hello. All right.
Hi.
Best friends of this one.
Yes, and now if you
Yep.
want to go ahead, Dimi, I'm gonna call you Dim or Dimmy, whatever.
Hi, I'm Kenway.
I've been here for a while, and I am a member of his podcast.
Mhm.
But yeah,
Okay. Do you want to introduce yourself a little bit? Oh, no? Okay. Anybody else? Are we good? Do you guys want to get started on this video?
let's get it rolling.
Let's go.
All right, all right, all right, all right.
Let's
Here we
go.
go.
Let's do it.
Cheers.
Cheers, everybody.
Disagree. Totally. I totally agree. Totally disagree.
This is middle ground.
Step forward if you agree with the prompt. Men are designed to want to sleep with multiple women.
What do you guys think? You think they do or don't?
No, I don't know how personal we want to get with this, but I have a personal arrangement with my honey up here.
Mhm.
Because we have our own needs and wants, but it's not a need of we need to sleep with multiple women. For me, if I get the chance, she does anything. I like it is for me. It's I have my woman, she's mine. That is the only thing I want.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess I'm raised old fashioned,
Right.
but it's a thing of I prefer my own woman because of the time I spend with her, because how intimate we are. Men are not designed to want to sleep with multiple women. I think that comes from people who feel like, well, the more the merrier. It's a very gluttonous thing in my eyes.
In my honest opinion, I think it comes a lot from the back in the day era type of mentalities. You know, where like they used to invade, ransack, ravage people and stuff like that. You know, back in the old barbarian times where a lot of guys would just sleep around and get to the conquest, And I feel like they're trying to objectively use that in modern day times when a lot of people just want somebody to love rather than everybody and their mama. Realistically.
So let's look at Genghis Khan,
Mhm.
the greatest conqueror, one of the greatest conquerors in known history. He would sleep constantly with multiple women. So he had
Mhm.
multiple wives,
Mhm.
but he had an objective with it. He would use his daughters to, instead of marrying them with already like allied things, he'd marry them off. The condition that they next king, he would take all of his sons and all of his sons, all of his successors, and they would serve in his army for a certain amount of time. And Genghis Khan would always put them on the front lines to get them killed. His daughters had a very important role in his entire plan. It wasn't a thing of he wanted multiple wives. He was smart enough and he planned this out.
Right.
This is pure strategy.
It's very diplomatic
And,
in the reasons why
actually,
he's
fun
doing
thing.
what he's doing.
Fun thing, I believe there's a large percent of Asians where when they are born with what is known as the Khan birthmark. It fades away later,
Mhm.
but it's because of he had such a massive lineage because he did this. Statistically speaking, at least one of us in here has some form of Genghis Khan's blood in us.
Yeah, we're all part Asian to some degree. Do you guys also have something to include? What do you guys think? Do you guys think that men just want to throw their seat at the wall, or what's up, ladies? Other guests?
I kind of agree with you on your one with the like back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of see like where they just kind of slipped around raiding and all that. But now it's just more you want that You want that single person. You want to love that person.
Mm. How about you?
That's a lot more common now.
Yeah. How about you?
Well,
I want to look at you, but I don't want
coming
to
from
keep smacking this
experience
poor
with certain-
person with my ear.
like, I don't think that.
There we go. There we go. Okay.
Right. Like, I don't think that it's like an inherently built-in prospect to men to be like, oh, I want to go and sleep around with all these women. I think it's more of a conscious effort put into it rather than just being like, oh, my body is telling me this. It's no, I want to do this. I'm going to do it rather than this is just how it is.
Okay.
I definitely do agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Aaron, you had something that you wanted to say?
Go ahead, little
yeah.
man.
Just kind of going off what everyone said, but specifically what Kenway said. It's kind of a gluttonous thing. It's not really. Obviously, everyone has their like people like different things, but it's more so like it's kind of gluttonous in a way where the way I like to think about it is the more and more you experience of sleeping with women, the more you crave, if that makes sense.
It
It's
could be,
kind
yeah.
of gluttonous in a way where you sort of experience it, you enjoy it, and you want some more of it. Especially like if you're someone in a position of power, like a great king or something like that. Not really Genghis Khan, like Kenway mentioned, but other sort of just, I guess, kings of England or whatever, if that makes sense.
Right, where it's
for
pretty much
example.
become like a whole ego thing, like I have the
Yeah.
power, so I can do what
it's
I
like
want type thing.
Yeah,
You know, speaking
that's
of-
actually a good point you make.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I was gonna say that was a good point that you made. It's like, for example, a great conqueror or a man in a position of power sweeping with multiple women. Not only will it give them a sort of like drive, if you will, but it'll also give them more of like a ego boost as well. Where after they've swept with multiple women, they can sort of go around, they can brag about it. If they have multiple women by their side, they can show that to people. It makes them look at said person, especially back in old times, less so nowadays, where this person is always well respected. And
Yeah, I mean, to be fair though, I will say that this is not just uncommon. Like, this is not just common with men. I feel like it also goes towards women when you have a situation where you have options. And I think that when we're presented options as just humans in general, we kind of just uptake it. We start to feel entitled to it, especially when we have ease of
Yeah.
access to it. And I feel like it's more common, and this is just an opinion. It's not like it's factual or anything, but I feel like at one point or another, it's more prevalent in girls than it is guys, because obviously with guys there's a little bit more work effort that goes into it to be able to conquer a woman, because obviously they're the ones with access to sex, while men kind of have more lenient access towards a relationship, if that makes sense.
With that, I definitely do agree. If we look at the dating scene nowadays, it's a lot more. We hear a lot more of women know their worth, all this, which is good. We need to affirm women.
Yeah, like nothing
But in the
derogatory
dating
towards
life and
women
all
or
that-
guys. This is just like an unbiased. Yeah.
But in the dating life, it's the woman that holds the power, right?
Mm-hmm.
She's the one. She has always got options. She could post something on her Instagram, and she'll have 5 dudes in her DMs.
There's a but I
Wanting her.
you can see that with guys too, especially those guys who are of richer descent.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. So we're not just saying
Yeah.
it's girls just only.
But
okay?
it's less common with guys.
Yeah.
It's not just with girls only. It's less common with guys. Girls have an innate ability and an innate. How do
I think
say
it's
this?
because there's a different metric
An
of
innate
attraction, right?
Yeah, girls are just found more attractive. In the LGBT community, it's a whole different thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very interesting thing. Dating within LGBT and all that is very, very interesting and very, very fun.
You are part of LGBT, right? You and your partner.
Correct. I am pansexual. I am pansexual. She is. Hi, honey. Answer the question.
Well, I'm gender fluid, but I'm also bisexual.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, there's definitely different fluidity to it. So, but go on.
Within straight relationships, I seem to find there's a lot. It's a lot more rigid.
I think it has a lot
How
to
do I
do
say
with the
this?
confines of the sexual attraction, right? In a sense that
Yeah. A lot of
There's
it is
rules.
confines of sexual attraction. She holds all the power of that. And with these men here, with the I believe these are the Sigma male ones. 'Cause
yes, I
see
do
the
believe
other
most
side
of them
alpha
are
males.
from-
just alpha males. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
literally the whole group of alpha males that walked up. The beta
Mhm.
males are the ones
Yeah.
sitting in
So,
the
side
back.
note, if we take a look at how they're dressed,
Oh yeah. Here, let me actually.
the suits, the very formal.
Yes.
Yeah.
Go ahead and.
So if we
explain
look,
it.
the Sigma males are dressed very formal, very all that. Which, this is a complete side note. It's a very good thing to do for guys. We need it shows an air of confidence, and
Mhm.
a lot of the dudes we need this. Dressing casually is good every now and then, but like when we're doing stuff like this, wear suits, look good, look your finest, look your best. You'll feel your finest. You'll feel your best.
Yeah.
And I think that's what they're doing right now. Aside from the one dude who's sitting right in the middle with ripped jeans.
Right. I think he's more carefree, relaxed. He's comfortable within his own
Yeah.
looks. Mm-hmm.
But back to the whole dating life. It's far more rigid. Women hold the power when it comes to the attraction wise, and legally wise as well. So if we look into marriage and all that, if you get a divorce, there is something, and I can't remember its exact name. It is something around the lines of mother's rights or
Women's rights.
marital rights,
Or
where the
marital
female will
rights,
always
okay.
have claim over everything, and the male has to then fight that claim.
Yeah.
Right. That comes down to the olden days when the men were the ones that worked and the women didn't. So it was the men could go and get all that back because he was working, but the woman couldn't because she was the stay-at-home wife and was relying on people.
Mm-hmm.
So, right. No. Continue. Sorry. It was just background information. Sorry.
Which it was good for that time. We need to update that. It does not work anymore.
Right?
I
It's
will
not-
say
it's not
though,
a-
as much as I do love talking about it, we don't want to get too sidetracked away from the video, so I'm
Right.
gonna keep going.
We're getting sidetracked.
Did you-
Let's get going.
You added a little small bit. Did you want to add a little bit more before we continue on?
No, continue. That's okay.
Okay.
One of the things is because we have so much sperm, and that we produce so much sperm, and that makes us want to repopulate the earth
What?
basically. And so a lot of times what happens is I think that society is telling men not to do that for whatever reason. You know what I mean? And some guys fall into that, but I definitely believe that men actually want
Would you mind
to
pausing it right
be
here?
with multiple women.
Yeah,
because
we can
it's
pause
just-
What's up?
So something that he made a note of, society telling guys not to repopulate. Well, that whole thing of it's because we have so much semen. That's a little weird, bro.
Mm-hmm.
But
Right. Mhm.
Well, we're gonna
fucking
witness a
dumb.
lot
We
of
are-
weird takes from
okay.
both sides because we're gonna see a lot of extremism that happens when you're in a beta
Yeah.
male space and in the alpha space.
Yeah.
Where you also witness stuff depending
Yeah,
on what
I-
your
I've-
dating pool is also going to be weird because you have women who don't want men to repopulate, but that's the extreme level because you're going to have other women who are like, but I want
Yeah.
kids. So, but go ahead. You
yeah,
wanna-
nothing here is absolute. These are the both extreme
Mhm.
sides. Because I've lived both an alpha and beta male lifestyle.
Mhm.
I've seen both sides. I've lived both sides. On the extreme level of don't repopulate, I kind of get it because currently we are overpopulating the planet itself.
Well, actually, we saw
Right.
a steady decline in population rate because of the fact that a lot of people don't want to reproduce currently. But please go on. I'm not trying to push your point apart. It's just
No. That's good information to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good information to know.
in fact, in Asia, they've actually
So I can
pushed for more kids to be made because so they upped their laws instead of having like 1 or 2 kids. There's now actual government incentive for children. But please go on. Sorry.
Yeah, Asia's a story. So I can get it from that side, but I can also understand it from both.
Mhm.
That was my main point. Is there's understanding on both sides. Let's continue.
But it's also an inherently it's biologically intertwined in any species to reproduce. That's just what
Yeah,
they do.
yeah,
So him being like, we have so much semen, so like we have to reproduce. Like it's like in us. It's like, yeah, sure, but it's not because you have so much semen in you. It's because
Yeah.
it's inherently put into animals. Like
Yeah.
It's just what
ingrained in your
animals do.
DNA to want to like, hey, I want to have
Yeah.
kids.
When I started this video, I didn't think we'd be talking about semen.
It's the semen demon creeping in. All right, we're
Man,
gonna
I
go
can't
ahead
escape it for more than 5 minutes. Let's hit it.
all right.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and hit it one more time.
a natural thing in us. This is why you hear all the time men always cheating and guys feel like they, trying to hide the cheating and everything like that. And if it was natural for them to just want to be with that one woman, then cheating wouldn't even be an issue. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I look at it.
Yeah, I think for the way we were cultured, I agree with that, but also to just through human history, right? For survival, maybe this is old school thinking, but it's just like for survival, you need to have lots of kids. So someone's pregnant, how do you keep multiplying? You just more women, right? Not saying it's right or wrong, but it's just kind of the way. I think women even cheat too. It's like 50-50.
Yeah, I think women also want to do their thing, you know what I'm saying, in some situations, you know what I'm saying? So I don't think it's just men. I think it's a natural, like I feel like because that desire is there.
I fucking like Kevin.
It's a natural thing for, if we're talking specifically men, that desire to want to do it is natural in us, so then therefore you're going to want to do it. So I don't think
Kevin's the one in the jean
right next to blue suit.
To just be with this one woman, but at the same time when I'm with this one woman,
It's always
I
the
only
Asians,
want
man.
to stay with her. It's almost like I'm lying to myself if I just want to be with her. You know what I mean?
It's the Asian wisdom kicking in.
But the question is that the
Fuck's sake.
We love it. We love it.
The end point. I'm of the firm belief that it is important to position yourself as a man to have the capacity to be with as many women as you possibly can, and position yourself in a way where you understand female nature, you maximize your potential as a man. And that's where I don't necessarily agree that just because there's a deeper desire to continue to do it means it's going to be the most optimal thing for you and your own ability to thrive at the highest level and connect with God here on earth. I was taught not to be with multiple women, right? But it's like, especially, here's the thing, especially when you're in a relationship, right? It's like, it's better to grow together with somebody than multiple people, which I totally agree. But I think in the dating terms, it's like, there's nothing wrong with being multiple women, because I think that's just dating. It's experimenting, it's finding other people. But are we naturally made to just always be with one person? It's like, if that were true, then these first thoughts of being with another woman, even though I'm in a committed relationship, would never occur. But it comes up once in a while. But it doesn't mean I'm acting upon it. So
And you might be being generous about saying once in a while.
Let's stop it right here. I would like to comment on what you just said.
I wanted to comment on it too. Like, he's not wrong in the sense that I've seen multiple ladies. Y'all ladies are fucking savage about it. Y'all will look at a man's booty from across the yard, and you think we don't see that shit. Okay? But
Listen,
realistically,
when they're wearing those nice pants, I'm sorry.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't
okay.
I don't think it's like gender exclusive. I think we all kind of wanna. I think it's because so this is a far-fetched thought, okay? But realistically, let's look at history. Let's look at current day. How often do we actually obtain a life partner? How often do we actually witness the fact that we have relationships that last between 1 year to maybe 10, and either they croak or some other shit, and then it's like, boom, on to the next person. It might not even be 1 year. Sometimes it's in a couple of months. And I'm like, I'm not saying that you can't find love after the first one. No, I'm just saying that realistically speaking, there is some kind of drive that is not just emotional, but sexual as well, that kind of drives us to want to be with more than one person. And I'm not saying that you can't hold a monogamous relationship. For God's sakes, no. There's role play. There's all kinds of other kinky shit, but we don't need to talk about that. But overall, like, there is a natural instinct when it comes to that. And I think it's because a lot of times back in the day, the life expectancy wasn't that long. I mean, there's 100 Ways to Die in the West. That was like a whole comedic movie, but it was true. People would die for stupid causes every day, all day. And you can't expect one significant individual to outlast that and not date somebody thereafter. But did you want to add something, Kenway? Because you wanted us to stop,
Yeah, so first, let's ask the question. Ladies in the room, what are your thoughts on if a dude has that thought but doesn't act upon it? What are your thoughts?
So I know people that would be like, oh, you thought about another woman, you're cheating on me. It's like, no, that's not cheating. Because there's no way that woman hasn't seen a picture of a guy and been like, damn, he's hot. You know? It comes down to
Agreed.
obviously like what each person thinks cheating would be and all like that. It's like if you thought about another person, but you didn't act on it, that's not cheating. Because it's not. You haven't acted on it, you know where you lie, you know what your own boundaries are with that.
Right.
Yeah. Other friend, any thoughts?
No, she pretty much, yeah.
But it's like,
Yeah. I've
it's like if
heard,
you get
I've
angry
heard
at somebody
complete-
for even having thoughts, then it's like get angry at
Oh,
yourself
and let's
for
not even
having
get started on dreams.
a brain.
Fuck y'all for those.
Yeah.
Oh
fuck
my
all of
god,
you
don't
for your
even.
dreams.
And I'm not talking about dreams and aspirations. I'm talking about the dream that you went to bed and you wanted to smack me with
You
a
cheated
frying
on
pan
me
for
in my
no fucking
dream
reason.
and
Fuck you. I didn't do shit.
So
Yeah.
I've got a story about that. I was staying at one of my buddy. His name's Dave. We'll call him Dave. Staying with Dave and his fiance at the time. Sleeping in the next room over. The walls are very thin. Wasn't a very comfortable sleep for a few hours there. But I wake up to this sound of screaming and shouting and a loud thud. So I rush in the room thinking somebody's broken into their house or something.
Mhm. And he fucking dies in the middle of a conversation.
Uh-oh.
I live.
Okay, he lived.
he lived.
It's
So-
the boy who lived.
What? What's
The boy who
the last thing y'all heard?
No.
To be honest, I kind of joked around in the
Hey,
middle of you dying, so I kind of lost it.
You heard some noise and you thought someone broke into the house.
There you go.
Yeah, so I thought somebody
That
broke into
noise
the
we're in
room.
it.
I'm this 6 foot. I'm very not widely built, but I've got very broad shoulders. I'm a large guy,
Mhm.
right? So I rush in there. I like shoulder my way through their door. I
Right.
get in. She had had a dream that he had cheated on her
Mhm.
with her mother.
Oh shit.
So she had kicked him off the bed, and they were shouting back and forth. It was an interesting
See,
night.
that comes down to women being like, "Oh, my instincts kicked in. Like I know something's wrong because my brain's telling me it is subconsciously."
I
And it's
just
like,
thought-
no.
I just thought of something stupid. You know that at some point someone's gonna watch this video and they're like,
They're all pick-me's. I don't like this. I trust my dreams. I'm like, shut the
"Fuck up, Karen."
You can trust some of your dreams,
if you are
but
that
not
person,
all of them.
hold on. If you are that person, no disrespect to you. Sound off in the comments so I
You
can
do
get a
you,
good
boo.
laugh on my toilet.
Yeah. All right, we're
Please
gonna
comment
keep
so that I can tell you how you're wrong. Your intentions or intuition is not always right.
right. And I mean, there's
Let's
a
keep it rolling,
difference of
folks.
intuition when you're awake, and there's a different intuition when you're fucking asleep. Fuck you. Your dreams are gonna take you into weird places. All right, we're gonna keep going on and trucking on. You guys ready?
I guess, or how good of a day it is, right? Like, but I would say for
Alright.
me, if it was
gonna
totally
keep
natural,
smacking you with his arm
even
every
though
time I
was
drink right there.
nurtured into only being with one woman, that these thoughts wouldn't occur then.
Right. And the thing with me, I'm non-monogamous, so I have a wife, I have a girlfriend, and I still, from time to time hook up with other girls. You know what I mean? And so, and the thing is, it feels regular to me. It doesn't feel like I'm trying to do it or doing it because I'm forcing myself. It just feels just natural, like it's something I want to do. You know what I mean? And so to not do it feels unnatural. You might just want this one woman for a relationship. I can understand that. But sexually, though, I think it's all BS.
Yeah, I agree. I think a man can absolutely be head over heels in love with a woman and still sleep with other women and it not mean anything to him.
Right.
And I think all men have the proclivity to want to sleep with other women. Now, whether they're able to speak to that and actually act on that or not,
I'm gonna say this. I'm sorry for pausing it, but this is just a quick take. I'm sorry to say this, but I hate when there are people out there willing to speak up for everybody. Like, you have not lived everybody's
fuck you.
shoe. You need to stop saying that everybody's under this fucking umbrella. Like, not everybody about a certain race, not everybody about fucking certain gender or whatever have you. Like, they really need to stop this because then it brings bad narratives to people who are just trying to live their fucking lives. Am I right? Can we say
Right.
that?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can
Yeah.
understand having commonalities
Then
and
it
common
puts it in
headspace.
perspective of everyone's like, oh, but everybody does this. It's like, no. It's like, because then it gets into your head of being like, oh, well, if he's saying everybody must, like everybody does, and he's a guy, like obviously he must be
There's-
right. Every guy must think this way. You
Yeah.
know?
That's why I don't think
There's-
in
there's
realms
the-
of guys,
there's the-
gays, or any of that stuff. I think in the realm of every human has this thought.
When you speak for everyone, that creates the stereotypes. That creates all the yeah. When you say, well, all people do this, there are, and forgive my wording, but this is the only way I can figure out how to say this, very stupid and very impressionate people.
Very smart and very ignorant people.
Okay.
Yeah,
Two
I
different
get it.
categories. Two categories. Where very impressionable people were always be like, oh, well, shit, if he's, it's gotta be the truth. It's gotta be the truth. And, you know, they'll just take a half-cocked thought and run with it. I've met so many people like that who have fucked over so much shit. Kiddo over here knows one of them. Starts with a W.
I'm gonna call out a zombie alert.
They
We
will-
got one zombie here and one zombie in the back. Y'all need to move a little bit more. Y'all freaking me the fuck out. Just start. I am here.
What zombie? She's finished.
Well, do you want me to just walk up to you and just start going?
I don't care.
Is this enough movement?
We're having fun,
Is this enough movement for you?
No, it's just I want you guys to participate. Don't get like fear struck because we're doing a recording, guys. Speak your minds.
I'm
Be
usually
free.
a very social.
No, you're fine. You keep on grabbing your drink. I'm just like, I'm
and
just
stuff like this.
You're grabbing this. This is your drink. This is your drink.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm grabbing the
Usually
drink
I'm
out
a
of your
social
titties. My
person.
bad.
Put them in mine. Jeez.
Well,
I
hey,
wish I
can't
could,
see
but I
her
don't
'cause
have no
she's,
bed here. It's just
PC
gonna
only.
fall to the ground.
I can't see you or you because you both PC only.
Damn.
Fuck both of you. Fuck both you PC bitches.
You think you're better than us because you have fucking full body tracking. Fuck both of you.
Dude, I also get on Quest every now and then. So don't even
No, you're fine. You're in a Quest avatar. It's these two fuckers who are PC only avatars.
Hey, I had to. The VR lens is on this bitch.
We can't see
By the
your
way,
avatar.
for those of you who don't know,
Fair
VR
enough.
lens is what we use to record with. It's a great tool for taking pictures and more. I'm not trying to advertise, but it's a good fucking tool. So fuck you if you don't use it and you try to do video recording. Anyways.
Task was sponsored by VR Lens.
VR lens? No, I don't think they would sponsor us, to be honest. But definitely,
Mother should have swallowed you.
definitely, these things are definitely something that we need to take into consideration. Is that like there are people who are willing to speak out for a specific niche group, and I don't think that is inherently good. Because there are people who are in the middle. I mean, we have a whole definition called a centrist. You know what I mean? People who are in the middle or in the grind, who are always fighting the opposing sides of anything. And it sucks. Because, like myself, I try to fight for the fact that everybody... What? Why you keep touching my ear, you fucker? You red mask bitch. I'm gonna fucking steal your mask. I'll try. Yeah. Yeah, this shit. You can. You can steal his head for me next time. But we're gonna go ahead and continue on. We should definitely try to keep our viewpoints a little.
I doth tip my head to you.
Soft, you know, like not soft, but like short. All right, let's go.
Or if they've been able to,
We got-
like
we
you
got,
said,
like-
like religiously.
we have a
find
whole
way
ass
to
more to
work
do.
around it. And I think
Jesus,
religion
yeah,
is
we're
a
gonna-
great
we're
for
gonna-
that, because if it weren't for religion, we probably would not have society. But I think what's most important to identify is that a man should create choice in his life. And if you have choice, you should be able to do as you wish, particularly like in your case, like in my case, if there's no deceit.
Exactly.
It's the lying. That, in my opinion, is actually the overall problem when guys, tend to go outside of a relationship. They lie to the woman. That's the problem.
So when I was growing up, I was under the belief of just being with one woman, right? Like I was a virgin for a very long time. Then one girl broke my heart. So that caused like a lot of insecurity,
nope.
resentment towards the other side, right? And then I just became like
I
a
touched the
man
camera
for a little bit.
The
inappropriately.
problem is you have guys who are monogamous, but they're monogamous because they're forced to be monogamous. In a way, meaning that they have no choice because they don't have the skill to attract multiple women.
And a lot of times they'll use that as virtue signaling. I would never do such a thing. Well, actually, bro, you can't.
All right. Can the disagree step forward?
I remember when I would like go on tour and things like that, my friends would always try to encourage me to like hook up with girls that were on to me. But I wasn't really like into it. And it made me feel like weird, like off, like there was something wrong with it.
We
And
lost
now
somebody.
I'm at a point in my life where I feel like
He'll be
Can we
I'm
do?
only
Fucking
having
dead.
sex with multiple women.
Listen,
So
I just
I'm
want to say
not
that guy looks like he's
weird,
tripping balls.
so
Like,
I'm
he looks hot as
quote,
fuck.
unquote,
Mhm.
normal. I feel like
Excuse
even
my
when I do
language.
have sex with these random
I
women.
guess you could say he's beta to drugs.
I know that comes with like random sex in the end. But I know in the back of my mind that I just like.
Look at that. He's got pink eye. I don't know. He's got some.
See, this is what happens when you're the beta of it. You just take ass to the face quite often.
As far as like
Mm.
telling young men that they're born this way and that they should feel this way, it can really not do damage, but just sort of make you second guess things about yourself Am I normal? Am I weird? Is there something off about me? Everyone else around me is saying that I have to feel this way or I have to do these things, but yet I don't feel the courage to do those things.
I would say that's not true, though. I don't think that we should promote men sleep with multiple women. I think that we should promote choice and what feels right to you. So in your particular case, I would never tell you to sleep with multiple women. I think you might be doing the right thing to do exactly what you're doing and not do it or stop doing it. It's not about pushing it on the young men, but I'll tell you, there's a lot of young men that have a demon inside and maybe are really upset and frustrated with themselves because they feel a certain way. And it's like, oh, I'm coming out the closet. I'm straight. You know,
You just came
or
through the
super straight,
blue man's
super straight,
chest.
whatever it
Sorry
is.
about the technical issues, folks.
It's gonna be about choice, man. So
Are you still seeing the video though? Are
I'll
we
tell you,
good?
if
Is
you
it
don't
still
feel
in
good
queued
doing
with the
that,
rest
I
of
wouldn't
us?
do it at all.
Yeah, I agree in your
What are you
situation,
guys seeing?
with
Are
what's
they all
happening
grouped
in
up now?
your
They're all
life, I think a
grouped
lot
up
of
now,
times
yeah.
what happens
Yep.
is
Yeah.
you
Alright,
have
we
guys
good.
who will have sex with
Mhm.
multiple women because they're
Sounds
trying
good.
to fill a void. So it shouldn't be about filling a void. It should be about you actually desiring. So you don't desire to do it, so which is why you shouldn't do it. But there are guys who desire to do it, but then they're suppressing their desire, and then it's doing the same thing as you not wanting to do it. Like they feel weird about not doing it, but they want to. Whereas you felt weird doing it, but you didn't want to.
I think it's a society
Oh,
thing.
that's so
Like
much
what you
better.
just said. Who's making them feel guilty about not doing it? Other men. The reason I think women and men. The question was, do you?
Okay, they said something pretty interesting just now. He wanted to say society, right? But I have an honest belief that I think it's actually not a societal thing. I think it's more of a cultural thing. In the sense that depending on how you're raised, you're going to view and perceive things on a different scale and a different level of severity. You know what I mean? I don't think it inherently has to be about society. Because a lot of people don't even care about what
Right.
society thinks. I think it's very cultural based. What do you guys take? What's your
Right,
take
but you
on
see, you cannot think what you cannot agree with what society says, but overall, society is like the majority of what people think, right? So
Yeah.
that's where I agree. Where it's like, yeah, society kind of keeps things away, but that's because society is the basis of everything. Culturally is one thing, but society is a whole nother thing because that's what's opposing you.
So you think? I guess you would say more like they don't contradict each other, but they also work together in tandem.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's kind of a double-edged sword in that matter.
I believe completely the opposite. So society doesn't. I believe it's more where you're born, right? It is.
So it's cultural.
It's definitely cultural. But the minute people start logging onto Twitter and all that bullshit, that's when it becomes societal. But at the deep root, at the base, it is what your mama taught you, and whether you fall through with that or not.
Mm.
My mother fucking taught me respect people, respect everyone. I grew up in a not so good neighborhood, we'll call it. So I grew up with
the hood.
You either respected people, bingo. You either respected people or you
didn't.
Hmm.
It was kind of white and black
Yeah.
on that one.
You either
No
respect
pun
people, or
intended.
you had a choice, or you had no other choice.
I'm done.
You
I
either
need to
respect-
censor that one. I need to censor that one. I'm sorry.
Nah, keep it in. Fuck it. So it was definitely a white and black type situation where if you didn't show respect,
Not actually race, guys. It was just
You
a
squared
joke.
up.
It was just a pun. But go on.
like the colors, not the people. Moving on.
Oh my god.
So,
jeez, the way of thinking.
oh my god.
Hey, there's
So,
gonna be people who are
during
gonna
all
tune
this-
into this and think only in that narrative, and it sucks because you're not actually trying to say that. You're trying to preference to the actual point of white and black, but people will make it about race. You'd be surprised the amount of shit that people make things about race, and it's stupid.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they can make it about race. I was one of the only white families down there. Fuck all of you. You live that life? No? Shut the fuck up. Moving on.
Exactly.
But it's the thing of we were taught because of the way we lived. You either showed respect or you put your hands up. It was those two. You either showed respect to men and women. You never hit a woman. You never put your hands on a woman. All of this because if you broke these cultural rules that we had, there would be deep and sometimes deadly consequences.
Yep.
You never cheated on your woman because then her family's gonna rock up on you. You know what I mean?
That's a country bumpkin situation. Yep.
Ah, yeah.
And my honey over here has lived in the country.
Especially when you start hearing the yeehaws, you need to start fucking running. Anyway.
Oh, exactly.
Point being,
oh my god,
at a root level, It's not society, it's culture that has taught us. And if you were taught to cheat on women or have multiple women, that's what you were taught culturally, and that's what's ingrained into your soul.
Mm-hmm.
Which, completely side note,
and sadly,
you know what, never mind, let's just
race.
keep rolling. Yeah.
Somehow.
Call me racist all you want. I mean, go ahead. Not me having two of my best friends being black. Whatever. Let's keep it rolling.
Let's keep rolling. Okay. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
You feel that men
shit. Cheers. Hold on.
multiple women, or
Cracking
they
open a
just-
new one.
You know, that's what they do, and I don't think that's true. I think it's a part of your character and who you are. I do believe that if you're going to be honest with your partner is into it. But do I believe that we are biologically meant, and it's in our head because we have to procreate and this and that? I don't believe that. I believe
So this is one of the betas, right?
A lot is
I believe so, yeah.
Yep, never mind. It just showed me.
It's looked upon as a great thing for men to have multiple women.
Not the big yellow box in the corner.
Shame, totally. I have one
It's
son
okay.
and
It
two
has
daughters,
the
and I
drinkers
know
in
the
mind
difference of
when
how I
watching
felt
this.
when they were 15 and which was I was 15 versus him having multiple partners or my daughter.
So if I could struck a check for $1 million and never feel that feeling again, I absolutely would. I really, really would. It's something that I really hated myself for, and I felt very apart. I grew up
Okay,
in the
side
South,
note, the
South
dude
Louisiana,
sitting next to the guy in the white
and I
jacket
felt
looks
very
fucking
distant from people around me 'cause I had this urge in me.
interesting outfit, my man.
Like, the biggest
We were just
self-hate
saying
I've
that
ever
he
felt
was
in
a
my
beta
life
to
was
drugs.
over this particular
Yeah.
subject. I thought I was
Yeah,
wrong.
Crimson, I would.
With,
Kenway,
around it,
I
and
pointed out the fact that he
me,
looked
I'm
high as
bisexual.
fuck.
I've always had that.
Like his
But like
eyes,
you
like
heard
he's
me say,
either
I've been married
hasn't
to a woman
slept
for
for
30
days
years,
or he just
and I've been
looks
committed
like
for 30 years. Doesn't mean that I don't
looks
have that
like
desire. It's my character to
he
say this is my person,
just shoved
and
his
that's who I
face
want
up.
to be with.
So that's what I
He
He just snorted a amount of cocaine
goes
and that.
back to, are we just built that way?
I'm being
Yeah.
honest with you.
If we're just
My
built that
my
way
guy
as
looks
men,
like he
then
hit
there's
like a
multiple
bull
people
or
that I'm gonna
something
wanna
and
sleep
then
with.
started coming into this interview as soon as it started kicking in.
Right. He's right outside the interview room snorting lines of cocaine.
Before he goes
I
in.
agree with what we're
Listen,
saying here.
my
Just see that
theory,
little
he's
bit of
got a
powder on
big
the
ass
nose.
nose.
In the
He has a
culture
big ass
and
nose.
awareness
I
and
think he
being
just
a
straight up
human
put his
being,
nose
having a
inside
consciousness,
some bags of
choice,
magic powder and
language,
just started,
we
you
can
know,
choose not
sniffing.
to. We can go against those desires.
Drew looking ahead
If
ass.
you feel that desire and you're honest with your partner, I believe that is true. Do I believe that we are biologically meant to? We
Move
just
your
biologically
vacuum
want to
Side
be
note,
more
I love that
successful
dude's hair.
because we have a penis between
Like
our legs.
the dude who's
and a
wearing the
vagina?
jacket with like the
I don't.
Well, let me ask you
flappy
this,
stuff.
though.
I love
You
his
said you're
hair.
bisexual, so does that mean you're attracted to men and women?
Real
right?
quick,
Hey, yo,
I don't,
hey,
I don't.
hold on.
The
Hush up,
woman is-
hush up.
I got one guy
you're
listen to
attracted
this
to men,
country.
so wouldn't you want a man and a woman?
No.
So you just like, I just want one, and that's
I made a commitment.
Pause it here.
And it's not even like I'm.
but there's no urge to want.
There's always.
What you got now? What you gonna be bugging me with now?
Damn. So this is where I get to really step in with expertise because this is the LGBTQ part.
Great, I get the fruitcake that wants
So
to talk
it's-
about it. No, go ahead. I'm bugging with you.
You know what? I'll start talking about it too.
So here's the thing. Here's the thing. Is I get this a lot. Being pan, I'm people are like, oh, so you just want everyone at all times. I'm like, no.
Right.
I also get the fact that you're just discount buy, and I'm like, no, that's also not okay.
No, he
I'm
just
going
likes
into this.
cooking utensils, you know?
This
It's
is
fine.
educational. You know what?
Yes, we love being inside the pantry. Let's go.
Oh
High five, Kenway. Let's go.
So, I need to explain this because this is educational. People need to learn about this.
Mhm.
So there's a difference between pan and bi. And the best way I like to describe it is with a crayon box. Bi people like the white and orange crayon box, or white and orange crayons. They like both.
So they like Asians. I have a
people.
chance.
Pan people, right?
Oh my god.
We take all the crayons out and we use all of them. That's the best way to explain it.
Well, at
I
least
guess.
with that
I
said,
would
I
explain
could
it
say,
more along. Sorry.
Let me quick.
As somebody who's also pan, right?
Okay, go ahead.
Yes, Wolf Girl?
Good.
Go ahead. Okay.
No,
I was
you
gonna
were
say
good,
at least
good.
fucking Trump gets some love. He's more orange than all of us.
Okay, Okay. I'm glad I let you talk there. So, as someone who's also pan, right, I would explain it as
The Simpsons.
you know they go bisexuals are only like attracted to two or more genders.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas pansexuals are attracted to people regardless of gender. Yes, we take your gender into account as liking you as a person because that is how you are. But we don't look at gender as a objective to keeping us from somebody rather than being like we like all the crayons. It's like we don't care what color the crayon is. We'll take it or we'll leave it.
That's the point. Is we don't care what the color of the crayon is. We like to use them anyway.
Mm-hmm.
It's mostly about personality. It's a lot about personality. And that's something that needs to be understood. Is no, bi people aren't immediately looking at both constantly. Like, yes, I want two at the same time. It's not that. Because that's so infuriating to hear. Like that is genuinely angry. And I think you can see it in his face. He's getting a little bit frustrated here. You can see it in his face. But it's such a frustrating thing to hear. But it just, I'm sorry, I'm slapping you horribly.
No, you're fine.
It's such a horrible thing to hear. It's so annoying to hear. Especially with the utensils jokes. It's funny the first time. It stopped being funny after the fifth.
Right.
Well, I'm sorry. I just want to make sure that my utensils are going to be clean.
So we're going to take a quick little intermission here, folks. Alright, let's keep it rolling, folks.
We're going to keep rolling.
Orange. That's what we're talking about. But that doesn't mean that I'm biologically. I think men and women both have urges.
Where do you think the urge is coming from, though? If it's not biologically inside of you.
I think the urge.
I'm sorry, he reminds me of Edgy.
Urges that way horny. No.
Is temptation bad? Like you say it in a way that's kind of like temptation.
No, I don't think temptation's bad. I don't think it's a thing of all. Then that goes back to all of us. Then all of us are meant to sleep with multiple people. So then that's just a whole different society thing. But it's not just. The question was, as men, are we? And I don't think so.
But regardless, I think it's important to understand. 'Cause I think we are, and if we can come to terms with that, we can begin to move past it if that's what we desire. But if we reject that idea that
do you want to sleep with them? Are you good?
Move past it if that's something that someone wants to do.
But do you agree it's just men?
No, the dude next to him is just leaning in such a way. It's like he's so uncorrect.
Right. I agree.
I want to make a point, right? And all of you in here can call this a racist joke as much as you want, but I'm pretty sure the guy in the dreadnought
No, not going there.
And that's when both adults just have to have a conversation about,
this is child abuse.
I still want
to
it sounds like some people want to have their cake and eat it too, which I don't necessarily agree with. But I think just as long as all parties involved have an understanding of what they're getting into, I don't see the issue.
I mean, honestly, I don't think I could say it any better than he did. That.
Wait,
like
hold on.
Most of us,
Pause it.
all of us, kind of agree.
What's up now?
In the end, it is a.
What you want, boo?
Never mind. It zoomed out. It looks like the dude sitting next to him has got a black eye.
Are we still on the crackhead, dude?
Yes, I'm sorry.
I'm going to hurt you. Let's get through the rest of the video, motherfucker.
I get that he looks like he's on drugs and shit, but it could just be how his body is, and he's just lanky and thin, right? Like it's fun. It's kind of fun to like joke about it once, but bringing it back to him every now and then is kind of like he could just be recovering from something, or he could just be that's just how he is, right?
Listen, I'm just saying he looks zooted as fuck. I'm sorry. Like this is just a point.
And that could just be his face.
Looks like he had an actual black eye.
His body language.
Y'all are fucking crackheads enough as it is. Why do we have to worry about the other crackhead in the fucking video? God damn. We're continuing on!
My bad. I will ignore the crackhead from now on.
In a poly relationship, that's fine as long as everyone's in agreement. Obviously, don't be in a monogamous relationship and then like
single-handedly
what?
choose to, sleep with another woman without telling your partner.
The ink
like,
on
that's
his
when, like,
shoulder.
Oh, the ink.
Like tattoos.
I thought you said kink. I'm like, what?
You can now stream your favorite episodes of Middle Ground on Spotify whenever you like. Please
Wait,
like
who the
this
fuck is
video to
this?
enjoy watching
Oh,
it
it's
and
this
subscribe
fucking
to our channel.
advert bullshit within the video.
Submissive women are more attractive than dominating women.
Oh, hell yeah.
Ooh.
What was the prompt?
Listen, my shirt says submissive women.
Submissive women are more attractive than dominated women.
Look, I think one of the most beautiful things about love is being able to fully take
Side
care of
note,
a woman
one of the
in
alphas
every
didn't
way,
step
whether
forward.
that's emotionally protecting, providing, everything about that. Like every fairy tale that was ever written for all of time was about a man saving a woman from a castle and a dragon, right? Or some sort of scenario like that. And I think that's absolutely beautiful. And I have nothing against women being empowered, but I do feel like the happiest women in the world are the ones that look up to a man and that he can fight every day to love her and love his kids and his family and provide and be that source of something to actually look up to. Like, I believe a woman can admire a man.
Okay,
who's
quick
very,
note.
very, very healthy. Am I saying that somebody that doesn't do that is
So
not a
pause
man?
it real
No, I
quick.
would
This is going to be a real quick
But
note.
Ideally,
Because this is an actual interesting topic.
Lord have mercy. Let's say the 30s, 40s, 50s.
I'm sorry. It's got interesting topics.
Oh my god, it's not like the gay guy has the fucking opinion. What's up, buddy? Love you, bitch.
Love you too, buddy. So there's a difference between a woman looking up to you or your family looking up to you and being submissive. Kiddo over here looks up to me because I've been his dad for a while now. I help him out
Almost
through things.
2 years.
She looks up to me because I'm always there. I'm always doing my deal. Doesn't mean she's submissive. There's a very large difference, and I don't think he registers that.
Oh, so the pegging does
There's
go
a difference
both
between
ways.
being in.
No, not again!
Get him.
All right, we're gonna keep going.
But,
But I get it. Yeah. Summarize it.
I don't think he sees that. There's a difference between being inspirational and being dominant.
Oh yeah, there's a difference between tit or tat, but it really depends on the context here. And I'm assuming that a lot of these conversations aren't done with proper context behind. So it's always the person's opinion on the view of the larger subject. Like we could look at the color red,
I'm sorry, I'm
but
just so fascinated
someone's
by
gonna
your
look
tongue.
at the color red and think blood. Another person's gonna think blush. Another person's gonna think lipstick. So unless they actually start putting proper context into these fucking conversations, we're never gonna get any leeway. And that's the problem with a lot of these fucking videos that they put out on the social media for everybody. It's sad to see. And then it just keeps causing divide. Let's continue on. You know what? Fuck you. Cheers for that, you fucking jackass. Great. Now I have a crown of weird metallic origin.
You know what? I'm going to go to a place I haven't sat in a while.
We were having
Your
nuclear family
right
stay
shoulder
together
is
before we went off
mine.
the gold standard and inflation pushed everybody to have two people have to have a job. Yeah, dude, I do. I think those relationships were much happier when the man could lead a house and be proud of going out and going to work every day and fighting for his family. Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I think what we have to do is we have to look at general female happiness, because that's really what I'm into. Like, I don't really care what guys think or what girls think. I think I have a unique perspective in that I've worked with a lot of high-performing women that operate in this dominant role. And I work with
God,
them
that
for
guy's
the
got such a
purpose of
good
helping
jaw.
them be able to reintegrate with that more
Do you want to
submissive,
bounce your balls
connected,
off his
intuitive
chin?
part
What's
of
wrong with
themselves that
you?
really is connected to their bodies.
Leave the poor man with the good haircut alone.
As dominant, I want to be the presence of men. And with every woman that I've worked with, there is this deep desire, regardless of what she says externally, to submit to the leadership of a man that she knows can properly hold down the emotional space
Shit, I
and
didn't
really put
choose.
her
Where the fuck
interests
is my choose? There
at
it
the
is.
forefront.
Right? Because soon as when a woman is dominant over that man, she can't respect him.
Can I
It's just
be honest?
impossible.
This guy's name is reminding
Right,
me
exactly.
of Super Mario. Like
The
he's
thing
like
is-
the
thing
unwanted
with
Mario brother.
submission is like if you even if you look at the word
Mario.
and this woman is under my mission, meaning she's leading her.
Man, it's a
right?
whole
Then
ass
that
Pokemon
is an
brought to real
actual
life.
Good relationship that can flourish.
Truly, deep down, every woman would love
It's
nothing
the-
more than to
No, I'm
be
gonna keep the joke
more
to
feminine
myself
in
for
a role,
stream
in a family,
for
and take on
fucking video
the
purposes.
or the role that feels
You'll have to tell me
supportive to the overall
afterwards.
mission of a man. It's
Will
just gotta
do.
be a man with getting behind, and weak men are the reason why this is a problem. Case in point, look at the workplace. You don't see women applying for jobs to be power line guys or hang steel at steel companies. They're not picketing outside of the United States Army being like, why won't you draft me? They don't want that smoke, bro. Like, and that's okay.
I do agree with
I can't say enough. It's like, as a man, like, you get to take pride in taking care of a woman, protecting women. What about your daughters, man? You want to protect and provide, care for them. That's okay. Let them be feminine. A strong man doesn't need you to be a man. He say, fine, you can be a woman. You're safe, sweetheart. You come with me. Right. That's it.
You come with me.
There were just a few things that I disagreed on. I think that in 2023, especially, I think women just want to be able to look to the side and see their partner.
I messaged you.
And I think a lot of women now are
keep it to yourself.
They're trying to be men. I think what they're realizing is that the qualities that they were looking for in men, they've always had. If women are submissive,
you okay?
I sent them the message.
Validation.
Probably not.
Man. I think they know in the back of their heads, like they know now that they can do things on their own.
Funny,
I don't think they necessarily need a man, but I think what they're looking for is that intimacy to have a partner. But I don't think that they require one.
Oh no, they do, because a lot of these girls, they usually go home and cry at night from being lonely, from not having a man. They have all these things, and then they're upset they don't have a man. You know what I mean? And I heard you say that women want to be the man's equal, but you don't see, and maybe this could just be a societal thing, a societal pressure, but you don't see women doing things that could make them equal to the men. You don't see the women approaching the men. You don't see the women paying for the dates. You don't.
Now,
okay.
I can understand to a degree, okay? The reason for this is what they don't say on these fucking videos every goddamn time. But there's a different level of income in these situations. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not that the woman doesn't want to work. We're not talking about work. When we are talking about work and we're talking about income, it's the choice that happens within these incomes. Because if you're willing to work as a teacher, we all know teachers don't get paid well enough. So that's not just a gender exclusive towards women. That also happens to a lot of guys. So when they start pushing these narratives, you can see how the divide happens quite often and frequently. And we have to be honest.
Well,
most women are built towards people, not towards things. And unfortunately, when it comes to things, things are more dangerous than people because we have a modern civility. Meaning that, yes, there's going to be some dangerous people, but there is more likely a situation where a thing can injure somebody, like a car, even though that depends on who's driving it, or a natural disaster, or let's say a chain breaks off loose and then the weight comes crushing down on this person, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We could go into different fucking views and analyze it if you want, but realistically speaking, there's a lot less danger when it comes towards people.
That comes down to biologically built blah 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 versus how people think about situations. So, like, yeah, biologically, men are built stronger than women. So, yeah,
and we
women
also
are built
prefer
more
things
mentally intact for things, and understandable. Now, what he's saying is that women don't want to work, which is, like you said, not true. Like,
it's not true. They do want to work. They just don't, because they're not built to work the longer hours that men are. Because, like you said a minute ago, we're biologically different in that regards. I haven't seen or witnessed somebody who's not willing. I don't think anybody wants to work more than 40 plus hours, but men are a little bit more willing in the sense because they have to, and they're more understanding.
Right. Now, my thing is different but that's just how I was raised and how my life is. Right. It's like so I don't want to, but I know I have to because that's how I have to make the money.
You're
I
also
have to
quite
live
a worker
and
as well.
So
sorry, go ahead.
Yes, I've worked 2 jobs.
No, you're okay. Right. And it comes down to the fact that they're not even looking at it. This guy, especially, Locario dude, he's not looking at it from the aspect of there are women who have to do these because nobody's been willing to help them through it. Because there are single mothers who have to do it. I mean, just as like there are single fathers that have to, but he's looking at it from a male, we're obviously looking at it from a male to female perspective.
Right.
There are women that have to do all of that and don't have anybody there, and so they're not going to be submissive.
This is
to
where we
another
go
man
back
because they
towards
know what
cultural
they have
and
to put in.
societal expectations. Cultural expectations is that as a human, you know that when dire times come, you got to step up to the plate. Societal, however, sits there and says, okay, because I'm a woman, I can feel a little bit more entitled towards things. That's not trying to be offensive towards you ladies,
Right.
obviously. I'm just saying that
No,
there
no, no.
is a
No, no,
narrative
you're good.
pushed between
Nah,
both
fuck you,
male
ladies.
and female spaces
Because I understand that.
where that is a perspective to behold.
Mhm.
But we're going to cut short. We're going to keep going through this. We're going to plow as
So-
much as we can, but we are going to have to cut this short eventually
Before-
and let the
before we-
audience be able to watch the rest of Jubilee on their own. What's up?
Before we do, I work construction, right? I've worked construction. I drop tile. I've never seen a female coworker. Never seen a female coworker there.
Okay.
I have once, but she was lesbian.
Yeah,
See,
she's
and
a
I work
butch.
in a warehouse
Moving
factory
right along.
setting, so so I don't work construction, but I work in a warehouse factory setting in a male-dominated field.
Yeah, she doesn't get on her knees unless it's
Yeah,
for
moving
refilling the
along.
paint bucket.
What kind of paint?
Not the white kind.
It's not paint. It's driveway. It's driveway sealer. But either way, it's in a bucket.
And it's not white. But
Oh my
anyways,
God.
you say your point real quick,
It's
and then
not.
we'll drive on.
My entire point is I've worked on some of the most dangerous things. I can die any day on my job sites. Never see a female worker there. They don't tend to take the dangerous jobs. They don't tend to take live wire workers, shit like that.
And here's also another thing I want to say to that, just to add on real quick. Sorry, not trying to interrupt.
My point was done.
It also depends on the benefits that come with it. To be honest, women are pretty smart about that. And we got to be honest with you ladies. You guys are smart, but you try to feign ignorance sometimes, and it pisses me the fuck off. Sorry to both of you. I know your ladies are here. But
Nah, fuck
they
both of
will
you.
go after those benefits like a motherfucker because they understand that benefits are important. But it's not important for your life. That's why they'll skip out too. Because they want to preserve.
Yeah.
They have the inherent belief of preserving life, while men are a little bit more. Is that a fire?
Shit, I'm dancing it. All right, let's get it rolling.
Yeah, we'll keep it rolling.
Also, cheers, motherfuckers.
Being more assertive to the man.
Cheers.
You see what I'm saying? So where's that at?
Cause they got
Uh-oh.
options. They got so much more options than
Well,
men.
I'll tell you what you will see. You see a high level of women on antidepressants more than ever, right? And I think that's a bunch of women trying
You
to
can have a
cope with
second
trying
one.
to be like a man when really,
Let's
let me ask you a
go.
question. Are you more attracted to a woman that has a high-paying job or to a woman's beauty?
We'll get another one in a while, but
It does matter. It does matter to me.
You asked me. You could, but I would like to say a mother
It does
figure
matter.
rather than a woman. Absolutely not. But I would like to say that you're saying that women, have a higher, have antidepressants, but men, I'm a social worker, so men 1 out of 10 are more likely to experience depression, but more likely to go undiagnosed and not seek therapy or help. So I do think, and women also, you have to consider the fluctuation in hormones, pregnancy, because that can alter, their mental health. So I think that's kind of a moot point, but I feel like, I'm not looking for a mother figure. I'm looking for an equal. So I feel like with, if we're saying that women, they're like,
Fuck
going
you, I want a
home
mommy.
crying, looking for men. I think it's also that societal pressure that tells you that at the same time you have to have multiple women. They're telling the women, you
Give me
have
that
to
goth
have a
mom.
man
I'll
and have a
fucking.
husband by a certain age, have kids by a certain age. There's
Oh
more
my God.
pressure on
Don't
men
even.
than
Don't
yeah,
even.
Let me
Here, you
see
need some
them
head.
goth
Titties.
titties. No, anyways.
because women have so much pressure.
Oh, you're in
and they
trouble
get
later.
judged more harshly
Ah!
than men do for talking about back then when men used to go home, bring home the bacon or whatever. The domestic violence rate was pretty high during that time. And I'll also say that for people of color, we never really had the luxury of working one job. So my parents, their parents before them, everybody always had to work, man and woman. So there was always that equal
I
opportunity
can't
for
confirm
them
that.
to be able to see that they could do it together as opposed to put that one pressure. And I also would like to add.
Can I just say though, real quick? Yeah, we do. There has always been a workforce, at least within our few generations, of both man and woman.
Mhm.
Okay? The problem I have is that when we start talking about sexual topics, we always want to drive outside of that. We always want to put some generational gap of logic to apply it to our modern day. And then it's like, you're missing the point. You know what I mean? Like, people will use
Right.
these as diversionary tactics. You can grab it from the past when you're trying to make like a bit of a point when it comes to like logistically speaking. But when you're grabbing it out of your ass just to present a point that has a bit of fallacy behind it, you're a jackass. And I don't care if it's man or woman, okay? Because some men use the past for like, oh yeah, you should stay in the kitchen. Well, fuck you for being an arrogant asshole. And then same goes for women when it's like women are like, but man's supposed to do that. But you're not a traditional woman at the same time. So I can understand the alpha mentality and the beta mentality, even though I want to say I'm more of a dominant guy because I'm very assertive, okay? But
nah, you're just a bitch.
Whatever, I'm not the one getting pegged at the end of the night.
It's like you can be a dominant guy and
I'm the one that's
still be
pegging.
considered a beta.
You want to add your point before we?
I said
I mean,
you can be a
shit.
dominant guy and still be considered a beta.
True.
So let's look at the comparison between Mr. Longhair and Leather Jacket. We're gonna call him Leather Jacket from now on. We're not gonna go with the crackhead jokes anymore. We're calling him Leather Jacket.
Okay.
You mean the guy with the skirt?
Okay.
So
Can't get any more beta.
I'd pay money to say
Sorry,
that
what?
one of them is dominant and one of them is very submissive. One being submissive in a leather jacket, wearing feminine clothes. And where was my point? I just lost it. Never mind. Let's moving on.
We're having technical difficulties.
Brain is not functioning. I've been drinking.
Oh god.
Ask if you guys find submissive women more
Here we go.
attractive than dominant women, is that because it makes you feel more validated as a man, or is there something there that you feel like feeds into your purpose as a man?
Yeah, well, it's a balance. If I'm a dominant person,
God,
I
Luna
need
here.
a submissive. If I meet a dominant woman, we're gonna butt heads.
What if that changes? Like, what if she grows? Because I would love everybody to be able to grow throughout life. What if she starts becoming more dominant? Is that like a
You're saying if she starts becoming more dominant in our relationship?
more dominant or equal to your dominant?
Oh yeah, she's gone. She's finished. We're done.
And see, that's my thing. Like, look, I got children. I don't need
Yeah,
somebody else.
that's some
I love
fucking
your thing
incel.
about, the Prince Charming and everything. But you know what I need? I need a badass woman who can match my badass energy. I work with my wife, and I'm gonna tell you, I
Why
take care
the
of her,
fuck
she takes
you
care of me, and she's
lying?
badass. And that's what I'm attracted to. I don't need a submissive that I have someone to take
Oh
care
my
of.
God.
And then it's fine. If she goes through that, but then I'll be there, and I will take care of her.
I'm sorry,
But
you're
I'm
the
not
kind of
looking
guy
for
who looks
somebody,
like you like your
another
hair
child
pulled.
to
What the
take
fuck
care
you
of
mean?
And have to dominate. And
That's why you in the
go
beta
there.
section.
This is where we're gonna go. We're gonna do that. Now, that's why what he was saying, I was gonna bring that fact up too. A lot of men are depressed because they're putting on this shield of I have to be the leader. I have to do this. And you know who goes to get help first? Women.
Okay, that totally makes sense. I think if we're talking about men not ever dealing with their emotions, it makes sense for this argument that you guys are talking about. But I'm the firm believer. I've gotten a lot of therapy in my life. I've done a lot of things for myself personally to resolve my own internal conflict. Okay, so it's a
Thank
job
you,
of alpha man.
Cayenne.
A real integrated alpha man has the capacity to understand what he's feeling, why he's feeling the way that he is,
Is it Cayenne or
articulate in a
Kian?
way that is
Does he like
productive
Kian
to
cars?
the dynamic.
I think it's
So
Kian.
a real man is someone that understands himself
Yeah,
deeper
I'm
at an
fairly sure it's
emotional level,
fucking
is
Kian.
taking the time to do that so he
I'd
can
fuck
show up
Kian.
as a rock, not
God
so he can
damn
show
it.
up more emotionally.
Problem is that if you're super emotional,
This is not a buffet
you
for
feel about
your
the whole
fruity
thing of
ass.
being submissive or dominant, your woman is going to
What?
dominate you because you're so emotional.
Emotionally unstable. Let's say that. It's emotional. Let's
And
stop using
sure,
emotion. Let's
you're
say
Stop
gay.
objectifying men.
Since you're
You're
so
very
emotionally
gay.
unstable,
Oh my
she's going to
God.
dominate you, then she's going to lose respect for you, and that's going to teeter the waters of the relationship.
So, I mean, you guys know dominatrix exists for
A reason.
a reason. And by the way, I used to personally train at dominatrix. You guys are their clients. I'm being serious. Like, it's a very hidden thing. I used to date high positions of power, very alpha. But, like, here's the thing. I think you guys put a little bit too much pressure on yourselves. It might be a societal thing. I've dated submissive women before. I find them highly annoying. Sometimes I just want somebody to pick a choice. I like her places. She's got better taste than I do when it comes to that kind of stuff. So please go ahead. We do butt heads once in a while because she is dominant. But
Sorry, I gotta pause on that one.
Oh no. Here we go.
I think I gotta say honestly, fuck you. You've done it enough times. Let me do it once. God damn it. Okay. So no, but realistically speaking, okay. Realistically speaking, there is. He's not wrong about choice, but I don't think choice necessarily has to do with being submissive or being dominant, because having a choice just means you have a general sense in life. Okay, because while you're when you're not, even if you're submissive, you could still say, I still want to go to Taco Bell. But then at the end of the day, take a railing up the ass. It doesn't matter. Like, you're going to be that person in the bedroom. And I think that submissive and dominance don't pertain outside of the bedroom. You can still have a choice on when you want to do something. Now, I think that when it comes to choices, it's more along the lines of insecurity, because even an alpha male can have insecurities towards making a decision because they don't want their partner to be affected, but then still be that alpha person in the bedroom. And really, when it comes to the context of this, are we talking about submissiveness in the bedroom or outside of the bedroom? You get what I mean?
Right.
So I'd say the alpha male is more prone to the whole insecurities, because it's when you live that mindset, it's this thing of I have to be this, I have to be this, I have to be strong, I have to be the alpha, I have to da 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 da. You grow a lot of insecurities from that, especially when it's this extreme of it, this far of extremes, which all of us here, I believe, our entire motto is fuck extremism.
Our whole motto is to fucking eradicate
extremists. Fair to say.
Yeah.
I went on the extreme side at one point, and you gain so many insecurities about everything. So they're far more insecure prone. However, beta males are just as prone when it's the extremer side. But overall, it is the alpha males who are more prone to insecurities that shit, I'm not the alpha that I think I'm shit. I need to do this better. I need to be faster. I need to be stronger.
I will say, I think, yes, you aren't totally wrong, but I think there's an equal amount on both sides, because the alpha is more willing to speak about it, kind of like yourself right now, but the submissive isn't, and they beat themselves internally.
Yeah.
Ask this one.
I've been with a few people, and some of the submissive ones do talk about it more. So
yeah, but the question is talking about it with your partner.
I think what they're doing is right. I think they're actually getting submissive versus dependent mixed up, because you can be an independent person and be submissive. You know, what most of these alpha males are what they've been explaining is a dependent woman, not necessarily a full-on submissive woman, because there is a difference. There's a difference between depending on somebody and being submissive to them. And sure, there are people that can be both, right? Whereas, yeah, that guy, jean jacket dude, he wants a dominant woman, but he wants someone who's like a codependent rather than somebody who's like fully dependent on everything from him, you know?
Right.
And it seems like they're getting that mixed up, because there's a difference between independent and dependency versus submissive versus dominant.
You know, for somebody who's very submissive, your legs are really well spread. Could you fucking close them for the stream?
I apologize.
Why did you have to mention it? Why did you have to mention it? It was fun until you mentioned it. I had noticed. I have a mirror up.
Shut the fuck up, Bo. You pansexual ass.
I think
I'll get you a pan next
that
Christmas.
I was going to listen to what he told me to do.
Right.
This is an amazing birthday present idea. Thank you.
Give me your pan.
Fuck.
All right, we're gonna continue on. Cheers, everybody.
Oh, geez.
No, fuck you. Double cheers.
Or
cheers.
attraction for me?
Oh, no.
We have no, not
He's
at all.
Stone Cold
And
Steve
trust me on that
Austin
one. So I think
Oh shit.
it does depend on your energy. You have a
Just
very
quick
high
opening
one,
tune,
right?
just poured him
Maybe it
straight
doesn't
into his
mix
mouth.
well with somebody who also has a really high dominant energy. I'm not saying that's wrong, because they exist for a reason, submissive people, right? But I just think, for me, when it's very submissive, I don't find that as sexy. I find that annoying.
But see, and that makes sense. And the reason why, see, what happens is, the more masculine you are, the more you want the woman to be submissive. The more dominant she is, then the more
rings on his
I don't know. I think I'm pretty fucking masculine, dude. And I don't want somebody that submissive.
I'm saying that in that moment in your feminine, but go ahead.
If
No,
you
you
and
put
your
the promise
wife
ring
have
on
like
the
a conversation
opposite,
about a disagreement,
from the
and
wedding
then you
finger.
guys like a healthy conversation, and then she ends up being right in the situation, would you consider her
You know he gets pegged
dominating
one
me?
too many
No, I
times.
consider her right.
So what's your definition of like dominant? Like
Okay,
you always
I
have to
wasn't
be
the one that
right?
said it this
No,
time.
it's not about right and wrong. It's about who's running the show.
So by her being right, is that not her?
No, that's just her being right in that conversation.
Yeah, a good leader would allow someone else to be right.
You know,
A
you
good
kind
leader
of, when you
doesn't
look
have
at
to be right and
him,
wants the team
it's,
to win.
I can
In fact,
see
I'd
why
call
you
him
wanted
insecure
to
if
voice
he would
about him,
allow
because
a
he
woman to be
looks
right
like
on
the
the
type of
subject
guy
she was clear
who
on.
gets
like that. I do
abused
like
at the
that. And, you know,
household,
it
and
goes
you're
back to
wondering
the
if he's
question
gonna
of, like,
be
when do
okay
you
the
find more
next day,
attractive? That's what
and
we're
yet he's still
talking-
fucking
yeah.
defending the
No,
household.
One of the things you said is like
That's the thing, is like, if you look at his eye, it looks like he's got something fucked up on his eye, and I was worried about him.
Like,
Well,
I
then
get
again,
off
hold
on
on,
that.
hold on, hold on.
Me,
Then
I
again,
totally don't get off on that. Like I
we're
need, I
also
don't
dealing
need
with a
any back
situation where
talk,
they
I don't
have
need
brought
any
on
lip,
people
I
who are
don't need
bi or
any
possibly gay
attitude.
because the
It's my way or the
is he
highway.
Indian? I don't
Like,
know,
I
but
don't
you
want
get a
none
point.
of
That
it.
guy,
Even have a
the
conversation
native,
in the first
and
Oh, you're gonna need to cut that out.
why? Look, there's nothing wrong with calling him a native.
That's okay. Like, no back talk. I'm right.
That's a
The
different
Indian
thing.
part.
If we're talking
Oh,
about
who
a
cares?
topic and she's right
It's
about
just
the
a
topic,
word.
that's just how.
No,
so
I'm
many
not
times-
an opinion of yours or.
But
things
yeah,
like-
you
No,
know,
I'm
I mean,
talking
if they're
about-
willing to bring on
If you're
someone
making an opinion,
who's,
you're saying you want
you
no
know,
back-
just
No,
like
no, no, no,
I
I'm
brought
not
you
talking about
guys
people, I'm
on
talking
as
about
well.
decisions.
Like,
So we can
then
have a
what is he
conversation about
gay?
a
I
topic,
don't
but when
know
it
if
comes
he's
to
gay
a
or if he's
decision,
dealing with a woman at the house. But
He's
either
bi.
way,
He's
he's
bi.
getting
He's
paid.
bi.
If we're to have a healthy discussion about a decision, which she disagrees.
She says I disagree. Right? She says so. If
He's got
you
a
say, hey,
nose
we
piercing.
wanna
That's
do, she
painful
wants
to
to do
do.
A, B, and
Jesus.
C, and I say, no,
What
I
are
wanna
those
do
called?
D, E, and
Respect,
F.
man.
What are those called again?
We're doing D,
Septums.
E, and F.
The
That's
septum,
it.
septum
Now, I
piercing.
will listen to what she says, and if I think A, B, and C sounds better,
You have
then
one
I
too,
say,
don't you?
okay, yeah, let's do A, B,
What
and
is
C,
that
'cause
tattoo on his
that's
eye?
Bad talk in the first place.
No, that's
No.
no.
I've only got
No,
3 on
that's
one
what I'm saying.
side
If we're
and
having a
then 4 on
conversation,
the
I'm
other.
not
Might be a
saying
mushroom.
the
Oh,
final
okay.
decision though is mine.
Hold on, I'm gonna get a
You
closer
can
look.
speak your mind, but at
Never
the
I
mind.
got
We'll
distracted by
let
that
me
one.
get a closer
So
look.
it's like, I'm gonna let you talk.
Yeah,
I
let
couldn't
me
tell.
go. Yes.
In the end, I don't really care. I'm gonna do what
Well,
I
that was
want.
ages ago.
No, I said I care.
I do want to touch upon the
Just one more thing with like let's clarify submissive. Let's not get that mistaken between incompetent. Like submissive does not mean incompetent, and I think you might have been talking
There.
about women that could be incompetent.
Right where you were saying,
where
Alex.
they don't have the capacity to take care of themselves at all or make any type of decision. So I think there's definitely a difference in how she shows up in the relationship compared to being able to make decisions in her everyday life.
Sure, but he doesn't want them to make decisions.
No, I didn't say I didn't want them to make decisions. I'll say this.
No, your decision's the final, no matter what.
Some of the strongest women in the world right now are sitting in submissive roles because they're strong enough to think for themselves and do what they feel good in their heart. Because there are women that do want to be submissive naturally, and some of those women are the strongest women in the world right now, especially when the world's telling them to go be something that they don't want to be.
I do agree that honestly it is a choice, it's a preference. You know, we shouldn't speak upon like everybody. Obviously, like it's always a gray area. It's a range. It's not one side or the other. And if you guys want to be in a relationship where the woman is submissive and the woman also wants to be in a relationship where the male is dominant, that's completely fine. But the thing I want to talk about more is the fact that like you guys keep saying that like this is what women want or that like all women want this. Who are we to decide what women want? Because first of all, we're not women. And second, just because of our personal experiences in our lifetime about the people we've interacted with, I feel like that's something we need to take a step
right, what
back
you were
from
saying, Sam.
and clarify that like, no, this is just
same
my
shit.
personal opinion. In the end, we don't know what women want. Women knows what they want, not men.
I have yet to see a relationship because I would say a relationship dynamic that is optimal has deep connection where you could say there's a deep friendship there, but also there's sexual polarity. And I've seen dynamics where there is a great friendship there and there is connection and they do live very cohesively. But when the woman is more dominant, the majority of the time, I've yet to see a dynamic where consistently
We're switching to a shittier mic
strong
because
sexual
the other one
polarity
died.
on her end in a dynamic.
And that's fine. Like
Oh,
if that's what you've seen in your lifetime, that's completely fine. Like
But I think
but then that's
biology
That's
says
fine.
that. I don't think it's just my personal opinion. I don't think, but like,
Probably you just surround yourself with.
yeah, like, that's the thing. It's like just because you've grown up in a certain area where like people are like that, because like I could say the same thing, but on the other side, where I've seen plenty of people and plenty of relationships where like that wasn't the case, but then they're like sexually fine, you know, that they're perfectly fine, their polarity is completely fine, and they're happy. And I could say the same thing. I could keep going at you saying that like,
As you
oh,
see our
because of
host
what
in
I've
his
seen or
wild
what
environment.
I've experienced,
Readable over there.
dominant men, it won't work.
What the fuck?
But then that's
That's not the only
Okay,
thing that
we're gonna
I'm
speak up
looking
on
for.
this. We're gonna end it on this one too. But realistically speaking,
Yeah.
okay, the people. Oh God, am I really that hunched back? Okay. Realistically speaking, okay, a lot of people are not gonna be willing to talk about this. Even the beta males hesitated, and there's a natural instinct behind it. Because if I don't move forward right now, I'm gonna give away my position. It's enemy lines. I'm in deep. I can't stop now. So I got to portray a certain ideal or mindset so that these ladies can still think of me as an ally. Because that is the beta male
Right.
mindset.
Yeah.
And I don't mean to sound rude, okay? But realistically speaking, they too know
I do.
that they want to be with that woman because they find them sexually attractive. But because I have been the ally of the group the whole time, I can't show that. So yes, in a technical
Right.
sense, you can be friends with females if you don't find them sexually attractive. Now, you can find them sexually attractive, but you can't act on it. And that's the rhetoric that they're trying to
So-
hide
Mhm.
by stepping forward.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
why they were hesitant to begin with.
Right, and that's why I found it funny because I knew that aspect already, but it was just the fact that it was like, oh, you would expect them to just step forward right away, but they also knew, you know.
There's a thing of, can a man just be friends with an attractive woman? My honey hangs around with a lot of other fucking dudes. I don't give a damn, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there's a point where, and this is for the men in our room right now, we can sort of pick up on it whenever somebody's hanging around our girl, and it's like, oh, okay, so you're just hanging around to try to get in her fucking pants.
Mm.
There's a difference because we can feel it, we can sense it between each other.
Mm-hmm.
Can I add on to that after you finish your
Yeah.
point?
Once I finish, add on, kiddo. And it's the thing of where if I'm gonna give an example. If I'm in a room with my honey right here, and there's a man that's clinging around her and doing some dumb shit, and he leaves the room, and I go, hey, honey, he's just trying to fuck with you. She's immediately going to drop him because we have that level of trust. It's because we also both know there are people like that where I like to call them jaguars or snakes. They'll sit watching and waiting for their time to strike. Once they smell blood in the water, they'll jump as fast as possible. There are people like that, and it's not just men. Let's get this across. It's not just men. Women do this too, where they'll sit and wait too. But it's a thing of trust your partner. That's it.
Mm-hmm. And I think that that's something worthwhile noting.
Hold on.
Oh,
you wanted to talk?
Go ahead, little one.
No, it's okay. Center can go.
No,
Center can
go.
It's okay.
We are trying to be respectful to you. Come on.
Okay. Well, it's more going off what Kenway said about how it's like whenever you're sort of around, like obviously you're with your significant other, and obviously your significant other having friends with like other male people's cool and all, right? And you can be chill, but you can kind of tell whenever someone is trying to bang said female. I have a little story. I'll make it snappy. A few months ago, I was dating a person. For the sake, we'll call them Lily, Lily. We'll call them Lily, and basically, I'd have a friend. We'll call him Michael. Me and Lily were dating. Michael liked Lily, and evidently showed us quite a lot for the couple weeks that we started dating. And I don't know exactly what happened, but because they spent a lot of time together when I wasn't around, it's to my suspect that he was actively kind of making moves and saying stuff to her. And when I kind of picked up on it when I was around, I would mention it. And I feel like that's that on top of the stuff that happens, what slowly sort of made stuff fall apart. And then the way he solidified the entire thing going is by revealing something to everyone that I told him personally about myself, and shit went a bit tits up. The point is that you, like, with gender and having friends of the opposite gender, and especially with being in a relationship, it can be possible. I have plenty of female friends, and my partners in the past I've been with and I've had good relationships with, I've had plenty of male friends. It's just a case of having said friends not trying to actively steal your relationship and or shag the person in said relationship.
Okay.
That's all I have to say.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, and like Kenway was mentioning earlier, it is very indicative towards the trust with your partner, and that's trust that's built over time. That's why when I see a lot of these relationships go into dom and subspaces, they do that almost right out the fucking gate, and you can't build trust right out the gate. That is something that is acquired over time. That is required over communication. That is built over all sorts of other stuff. And we might even cover that in the next episode of Virtual Paradox. However, for now, we're going to end it on that note. I hope you guys enjoyed yourself coming on to this show. I think it's not the first time, but definitely the longest time you guys had an air on here. I know it's your first time.
Yeah.
Yes.
Even though you were quite quiet.
Hopefully I
and
can
just
join more.
staring into the distance.
Boop.
Hopefully we'll get
No,
more
just
out of you
watching it.
next time.
I tend to zone out.
It's so good.
We'll squeeze you like a lemon. It's fun.
Well, anyways, that's our reaction video for now. If you want to see more of the rest of the Jubilee content that came with this episode, please go and subscribe and watch and follow them. They're great people. They do middle grounds for a lot of different shit, even though they don't go quite into detail. But unfortunately, we ourselves don't even have that time. So I hope to see you guys in the next episode. And you want to say something? I'll fight you.
Yeah. Man, at least I taste good. Bitch, you bland. All right. So, with all this being said, this has definitely been fun for me. I know my honey back here didn't give too much input, and end of the day, these are two extreme sides. Especially with Mr. Mr. Blue Tuxedo Man. These don't speak for everyone. These are extreme sides. Find your own ground. Find who you are. Be good people.
Yes. Always promote a good message towards those around you, and make sure to always expect people to grow. Because if you stop letting people grow and you think that they're fine the way they are, they're going to find more impasses and more roadblocks down the road rather than actually becoming who they're meant to be. So don't let them get stagnant. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. But that's it for virtual.
Somebody give this man a dummy mommy so he'll stop talking about it.
Shut the fuck up. Hopefully we'll see you guys in the next Virtual Paradox episode. Please subscribe, like, comment, whatever it is that you feel necessary. I mean, he said he wants to fight somebody in comments. Am I right?
Yeah. If you guys don't like what we just talked about, tell us. I'll talk to you about it.
Yeah, and
please give me. I'm bored at work. Please do something.
And if you guys want some other topics or hot topics to be brought up here at Virtual Paradox, we'll do our best to do it. So please, we encourage you guys to leave a comment. We'll see you guys in the next one.
Look, even if you guys don't have anything good to say, just fucking come and fuck you to this guy or me or someone. It helps with the algorithm. Do it.
Yes. See you guys in the next one. Bye bye.